Welcome everyone. Happy Wednesday. I'm Sara and this is yoga. So we're going to start with a little breath work this evening. So we'll just come into a comfortable seat, sitting up nice and tall. Let's roll our shoulders up, back and down. And close the eyes if you like. And start to bring the attention inward towards our breath. So just noticing our breath at first, not changing it or affecting it, but just noticing, observing. So for our pranayama this evening, we're going to do our box breath. So if you think about a box or a square, it's got 4 equal sized sides. And so each side of the box will be a different segment of our breath. So one side would be the inhale. Another side would be holding the breath at the top of the inhale. The third side would be the exhale, and then that fourth side would be also a hold at the bottom of the exhale. Now, if you don't want to hold your breath at all, just make a nice even inhale and exhale and just skip the hold at the top and the bottom. So we'll just take a few deep breaths and then go ahead and begin whenever you're ready. So you can count 2, 4, 5, 6, whatever works for you. So just keep that same count for all 4 sides of that box and begin whenever you're ready. Do one more round. And then when you're done, just resume a more natural breath. I'm going to make my way back to my mat. Still in our comfortable seat. Sitting up nice and tall. We'll drop the chin down towards the chest. We'll lift the chin back up. And then take the right ear towards the right shoulder. And then we'll drop the chin down towards that right shoulder. Turning the head, looking forward again. And we'll bring the head up to center. And then drop the head over to the left. Dropping the chin down towards that shoulder. Turning the head to the front again. And then lifting the head back up. And dropping the chin to the chest. Lifting the head back up. Right ear towards the right shoulder. Try not to lift your shoulder up. And then drop the chin down towards that shoulder. Looking forward again. Bringing the head back up to center. Taking the head over to the left. And then rotate the head, look down at your shoulder. Looking forward again. And we'll lift the head back up to center. Taking the hands behind the head, looking all the way up, using your hands to support the weight of your head. And then releasing that, taking some shoulder circles first to the front. Nice big circles here. We'll do one more forward and then we'll circle those shoulders to the back. And we'll take one more. Leaving those shoulders back and down, placing hands on knees, circling the torso around in the hips. Inhaling as you bring the chest to the front, exhaling as you round the spine to the back. Moving with your breath, making these circles as large or as small as you'd like, keeping your eyes closed if you want to. Taking a couple more in this direction. And then we'll pause and circle around in the opposite direction again, inhaling to the front, exhaling to the back. Moving with your breath. Taking one more here. And returning to a neutral spine. Inhaling, reaching both arms up overhead. Exhaling, placing your right hand down next to you, reaching over with the left. And then we'll inhale both arms up. Exhale over to the other side. And let's do a few more, moving with your breath at your pace. Inhaling, reaching, exhaling, leaning. Try to keep your sit bones level, so not allowing one to lift as you lean. And we'll hold on one side for a few extra breaths. You can go a little deeper here if you like, but again, keep those sit bones level. And releasing back to center, taking it over to the other side. Again, maybe taking this a little bit deeper here. And releasing. Bringing the hands into the heart, and taking a few deep breaths here. Let's bring the soles of our feet together, coming into Badakanasana, butterfly pose. Holding onto the ankles, sitting up nice and tall, hinging it forward at the hips. You can take your elbows and lightly press down on the knees, keeping the spine neutral, relaxing the shoulders away from the ears. We'll release the fold, but keep our feet together, rocking back up onto our sit bones and then lifting the feet off of the mat, balancing here. You can keep your heels pressed together, bring the toes away from each other, opening them up. And then you can stay here holding on to the ankles, or if you like, slide your forearms underneath your shins with your palms facing up for blossoming lotus. Keeping our feet lifted, releasing the arms, grabbing a hold of your feet, your big toes, or your ankles or shins, taking the legs wide into a wide-legged boat. You do not have to straighten your legs all the way. Keeping that chest lifted, using your core to stay balanced. Breathing here. And we'll release back into Badakanasana, folding it forward again. And release. Making our way to all fours for some cat and cows. So bringing the wrists underneath the shoulders, the knees under the hips, fingers spread wide. You can pad your knees with a blanket or by folding up your mat. On your next inhale, dipping the belly down, looking up into cow. Exhaling, arching the spine, tucking the chin and the pelvis under into cat. So just continue to move with your breath, warming up the spine, inhaling and exhaling. Keeping your core engaged, pelvic floor is lifted, elbows slightly soft. Let's take a few more in each direction. Taking one more of each. Returning to a neutral spine. Inhaling, taking the left arm out to the side, bring it up, twist. Exhale, thread the needle, reach that left arm between your right hand and knee, releasing the left side of the head down to the mat or a block. Your right hand can stay by your face, so you can extend that arm, either reaching towards the front of the mat. You can reach that arm up toward the ceiling, or you can bring that arm behind your back, reaching for your left hip. So finding the place that feels best for you and your shoulder today. Breathing here. Let's bring that right hand back by the face. We're going to extend the right leg back. So we'll start out with the toes on the mat. And then if you feel steady here, start to float that right leg up and balance. And then we'll release, coming back up to all fours. And then we'll do the same on the other side. Right arm reaches out and up into that twist. Exhale, thread the needle, reach that right arm through. Taking the right side of the head down. Left hand can stay by the face, so you can extend that arm, either reaching it out, reaching it up toward the ceiling, or bring it behind the back and reaching for your right hip. So again, finding what works best for you and your shoulder today. Bringing the left hand back by the face, extending the left leg back. Start out with your toes on the mat, and then float that leg up when you're ready. And release, coming back up to all fours. Let's tuck the toes under, stretching the bottoms of the feet here. You can stay here. in all fours with the toes tucked under, or you can walk your hands closer to your knees. Maybe walk them up onto your thighs and stack your shoulders over your hips. Stretching out the toes and the bottoms of the feet. Let's release the hands down, lifting the knees. And we'll come into a tiptoe seat here, raising and lowering our heels, stretching the bottoms of the feet a bit more. Working the ankles. And then we'll stop that movement. And if you like, start to bring your fingertips off of the mat for a tiptoe balance. So maybe you leave your fingertips kind of close if you're feeling a little wobbly. If you're feeling fairly steady, you can bring your hands up into the heart, stacking the shoulders over the hips. And then we'll release the hands, release the knees, untuck the toes. Go ahead and find your way into a child's pose. So you can walk your hands out to the front of the mat and drop your head between the arms, or you can stack your hands or fists and rest the forehead on them, or bring your hands back by your feet with your palms facing up. Your knees can be together, you can separate them out if you like. Try to make this as comfortable a pose as you can. This is a resting pose. It's also a modification for downward dog if that's not in your practice today. If this is really not a comfortable pose for you at all because of the deep bend in the knees, you can modify it by taking puppy pose, where our knees are at a 90-degree angle. So feel free to rest here a little longer if you like, or if you're ready, make your way into a downward facing dog. Planting the hands at the front of the mat, shoulder width apart, fingers spread wide. We'll come forward and tuck the toes, lifting the hips up and back, coming into Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. So if you want, you can make some movements in this first downward dog, maybe pedaling out your feet or shaking your head out or taking one leg up in the three-legged dog at a time. Whatever feels right to you, and that might be no movement. So that's a valid choice as well. If you are moving this pose, once you're done with those movements, just kind of find a place of stillness, tucking the chin, looking back between the legs, relaxing the shoulders away from the ears. And then we'll look up to the hands, walking the feet up to the hands. Coming into forward fold, feet are still hip width apart. We'll soften the knees, grabbing opposite elbows and just letting that upper body hang. Shaking the head out from side to side, taking it front to back, and swaying the whole torso from side to side. Returning to center, releasing elbows, placing hands on shins or thighs, extending the spine, looking forward, taking a few deep breaths here. On your next exhale, fold. Softening the knees, inhale, reverse swan dive, come all the way up. Exhaling the hands into the heart. And then releasing the arms down into Tadasana Mountain Pose. Taking a nice big step out to the side, turning both feet out 45 degrees. We're gonna move through some moonflowers, sunflowers, and we'll do willow today as well. On your next inhale, reaching to the corners of the room. Exhaling, bending the knees, bringing the elbows into our sides, and inhale, reach it up and out. Exhaling as we bend, couple more like that. Inhale and exhale. Last one. And exhale, transition into sunflowers. Inhale, reach the arms all the way up, palms touch. Exhale, bend the knees, circle the arms down and around as we fold, and inhale brings us back up. Exhaling to fold. Couple more here. Inhale and exhale. Last one. Exhale down. Inhale, come back up. Turning the palms to face the front. On your exhale, we're going to bend the right knee, bringing the arms over to the right. Come through center. Inhale, bend the right knee, left knee, come up the other side. Exhale down. Inhale up. Take a couple more to the right. And last one. Pausing at the top of our circle, and then we'll take it around to the other side. Exhale down, inhale up. And one more here. When we're done, we'll bring the hands to the heart, bend the knees, sink the hips, come into a prayer squat. Stacking the shoulders over the hips. Knees are in line with the toes. Releasing the hands to the thighs, leaning slightly forward here. Engaging your core, pull that belly button back toward the spine. Pressing the right hand into the right thigh, looking over your left shoulder for a twist. And we'll release and switch sides. Releasing to center, inhaling, reaching the arms up and straightening the legs. Turning towards the front of the mat, exhale, step the feet together and bring the hands into the heart. We'll release the arms down by the sides into Tadasana, mountain pose. Taking a few deep breaths here. So we're going to move through some sun salutations. I'm going to do a couple different versions, so just kind of follow along. If you want to do your own favorite sun salutation, be my guest. Starting out near the top of the mat, inhaling, reaching arms up. Exhale, swan dive down, forward fold with soft knees. Stepping the right foot to the back. Stay on the toes or lower the knee. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhaling them down, taking the left foot back for downward dog or child's pose. Inhaling forward to plank, shoulders over wrists, stay up on your toes or lower your knees. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, cobra or up dog. Exhale, downward dog or child's pose. Stepping the right foot up by the hands, helping it get there if it gets stuck. Stay on the toes or drop your left knee, inhaling, reaching arms up. Exhaling them down, taking the left foot to the front. Inhale, reverse swan dive, come up. Exhale, lean it over to the right. Inhale the center. Exhale to the left. Inhale the center. Exhale the hands into the heart. Do that once more on the left. Same way. Inhale, reach. Exhale, fold with soft knees. Left foot steps back. Stay on the toes or lower the knee. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhaling them down, taking the right foot back for downward dog or child's pose. Inhaling to plank. Shoulders over wrists, stay on toes or lower knees. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, cobra or up dog. Exhale, downward dog or child's pose. Left foot steps up by the hands. Stay on toes or drop your right knee. Inhale, reach it up. Exhale the hands down, taking your right foot to the front. Inhale, reverse swan dive, come up. Exhale, take it over to the right. Inhale the center. Exhale to the left. Inhale the center. Exhale, hands to the heart. So we're going to change it up now. Inhale, reach it up. Exhale, fold with soft knees, hands to the mat. Right foot to the back. We are all going to drop the right knee down, bringing the left hand to the right of the foot, coming into lizard, keeping our arms extended straight. Or if you like, bend the elbows and start to lower the heart down towards the earth. Breathing into that left hip. We'll hold here for a couple of breaths. And then releasing, stepping the left foot back for downward dog or child's pose. Inhaling to plank. Stay on toes or lower the knees. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, cobra or dog. Exhale, downward dog or child's pose. Right foot steps up by the hands. Stay on toes or drop your left knee. Inhale, reach it up. Exhale, release and take your left foot to the front, forward fold. Inhale, reverse swan dive, come up. Exhale, the hands to the heart. Once more on the left, inhale, reach it up. Exhale, fold with soft knees. Left foot steps back, nice big step. We'll all drop that left knee down. Taking the right hand to the left of the foot, to the instep side of your foot. Keep your arms extended or maybe bend them and start to lower the chest down. Coming into our lizard, breathing here into that right hip. Using that sinking breath. And releasing, taking the right foot back for downward dog or child's pose. Inhaling forward into plank. Shoulders over wrists, stay on your toes or drop your knees. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, cobra or dog. Exhale, downward dog or child's pose. Left foot steps up by the hands. Stay on toes or drop your right knee. Inhaling, reaching arms up. Exhaling them down, taking the right foot to the front. Inhale, reverse swan dive, come up. Exhale the hands into the heart. We'll release the arms down by the sides into Tadasana, mountain pose. Taking a few deep breaths here. Open mouth exhales with or without an audible sigh if you like. Deep breaths. Let's inhale, reach it up. Exhale, swan dive down, forward fold with soft knees, bringing the hands to the mat. Stepping the right foot back. We're going to turn that foot out up to 90 degrees and come up into warrior two. So windmill, bring those arms on up, reaching them out parallel to the floor. Making sure your left knee is pointed straight over your left toes. Shoulders are stacked over your hips and they're relaxed down away from the ears. Breathing here. We're going to do a little arm circle flow here. So we're going to drop our hands down in front of us, clasping them together, except for our index fingers are going to point out. And then on your next inhale, straightening the front leg, reaching the arms straight up toward the ceiling. Exhaling, bending the front knee and circling the arms back down. So let's do that a few times. Inhale, reach the arms up straight in the front leg. Exhale, circle and bend. Couple more like that. Move with your breath. Inhale, reach. Exhale, circle. One more. And exhale. Holding here in warrior two for a few more breaths. Let's turn this left palm up toward the ceiling, reaching for the front of the room, bring it up, reverse warrior. Right arm lightly rests on your right leg, keeping the bend in the left knee. Coming back through warrior two. And then we'll straighten out the left leg, shifting hips back as we reach for the front of the mat, dropping that left hand down into Utthita Trikonasana, triangle pose. So I really like to use a block for this pose. You don't have to use a block if you don't have one, but if you do, you can rest your hand on it. You can also rest your hand on your leg or the mat. Just please don't rest it right on your knee joint. And if you're bringing the hand down to the mat, make sure you can still open your hips, your torso to the side. You're not collapsed down towards the floor. Right arm extends straight up toward the ceiling. You could rest it on your side or bring it behind the back. Let's take this right arm and reach for the front of the mat. Excuse me. Getting a nice stretch on your right side. And then we'll bring this right arm back up and then rest it on the side. We're going to move into Ardha Chandrasana, half moon balance. So if you'd like to move to a wall for this, you could do that. Otherwise, stay on your mat. We're going to bend the left knee. And then if you're using a block, bring it out in front of your left foot. I like to have it up on its highest height. And then you can either step your feet together first and then lift the right leg, or use a little bit of momentum, press and lift off into your left leg, reaching that right leg up parallel to the floor. Now, if you're feeling extra wobbly, you can bring both hands down to the block. Otherwise, leave that right arm resting on your side or float it up toward the ceiling. Right leg is active, left leg is soft. And if you're not up against a wall, you have the option to bind, bending that right knee, reaching back for your foot with your hand, and then pressing the foot into the hand. If you have the foot in the hand, release it. And then we'll all release down into a forward fold, dropping the right arm and leg down. Resting here for a few breaths. And then we're going to roll it all the way up to stand. Bringing the head up last, rolling those shoulders up, back and down. So I'm going to come down to the other side of my mat so I don't have my back to you guys when we do the other side. Bring my block along. I think I'm going to take off this layer too. Don't need that extra layer right now. Okay. So coming back up to the top of your mat. And let's inhale, reach it up. Exhale, swan dive down, forward fold with soft knees. Stepping the left foot back. We'll turn that foot out up to 90 degrees. It could be less than 90. And we'll come up into warrior two on the other side. So make all your form checks. Check the knee, check the shoulders, check the hips. Relax those shoulders down, breathing here. Dropping the hands down in front of us. We're going to do that little arm circle flow. Inhale, reach the arms up, straighten the front leg. Exhale, circle the arms down as we bend that front knee back into warrior two. Let's do that a few times, moving with your breath. Inhale, reach and straighten. Exhale, bend and circle. Couple more here. And last one. Holding in your warrior two for a few more breaths. Turning the right palm up toward the ceiling, reaching for the front of the room, bring it up, reverse warrior. Left arm lightly rests on that left leg. Keeping the bend in the right knee. Releasing back through warrior two, straightening out the right leg, shifting hips back as we reach for the front. Dropping that right hand down into triangle Untitled. Bringing in your block if you like, or resting the hand on the thigh, the shin, or the mat. Left arm reaches up toward the ceiling. You could rest it on your side or bring it behind your back. Opening the hips and the torso to the side. Taking the left arm alongside the head, reaching for the front of your mat. Opening up the side waist and the ribs, the intercostal muscles on that left side. Let's bring that arm back up and rest it on the side of our body. Moving into Ardha Chandrasana, half moon, bending the right knee. Again, if you want to move up to a wall to do this, up against the wall, you can do that. Bring our right hand out in front of our right foot with or without a block. Shifting weight onto that right leg. Take the left leg up so it's parallel to the floor. And again, your arm can stay on your side. You can release it down to the mat or a block if you're feeling wobbly, or float that arm up toward the ceiling. And you can see I don't have a lot of weight on my right hand. It's there just for balance. I'm supporting the pose with my core and my legs. See, I can lift that hand up and wave at you guys. Let's release into forward fold, lowering the left arm and leg down. And then we'll slowly roll it up to stand. Bringing the head up last, rolling shoulders up, back, and down. Making our way back up to the top of the mat. I'm going to face this way again. Inhaling, reaching arms up. Exhale, swan dive down, forward fold with soft knees. Stepping the feet to the back one at a time. Coming into downward facing dog. Right leg lifts, three-legged dog. Stay there, bend that right knee and twist, reaching that knee up toward the ceiling and opening up the hips, looking underneath your right arm. Releasing that twist, bringing the right knee to the right wrist for pigeon Badakanasana. So if this isn't working out for you tonight, if this bothers your knee or any other body part, please roll over onto your back and do a figure four stretch, crossing your right ankle over your left thigh, reaching your right arm through and pulling on the left leg. If you are staying in pigeon, try to keep your hips level, using your arms to stabilize you or propping underneath the right hip. And then when you're ready, you can fold, resting your head on your hands, on a block, or on the mat. So you can stay folded here in your pigeon, or if you'd like to come into King Pigeon, Raja Kapotasana, come back up, lifting the chest. And then bending the left leg, pointing the toes up toward the ceiling. Staying here, or maybe reaching back for your left foot or ankle with your left hand. You could also hook that foot into your elbow. Leaving your right hand on the mat or balancing, reaching that right arm up. And if you have the foot hooked into the elbow, you can reach back for your fingertips for a bind. And then we'll release. We'll all make our way back into downward facing dog, tucking the left toes under, lifting those hips up and back. Left leg lifts, three-legged dog.
Stay there, bend the knee and twist, reaching that knee up toward the ceiling, opening up the hips. Releasing that twist, bringing the left knee to the left wrist for pigeon on the other side. So again, taking the figure 4 on your back if this is bothering you today, or propping underneath the left hip, or just using your arms to stabilize you, and then folding when you're ready. And staying folded or coming up for king pigeon, lifting the chest, bending the right leg, pointing the toes up toward the ceiling. Staying here or reaching back for your right foot with your right hand, maybe sliding that foot into your right elbow. Leaving your left hand on the mat or floating it up to balance. And if you have the foot in the elbow and you'd like to, you can reach back and bind. And we'll go ahead and release that. Rolling on to the left hip, bringing the right leg around to the front. If you're on your back in that figure 4, just make your way up to a seat. Extending your legs out long. Maybe moving some of the flesh up from underneath your sit bones, or if you have a blanket, you can sit on your blanket. Flexing the feet, inhaling, reaching arms up. Exhaling as we fold, hinging from the hips, reaching for your feet, ankles, shins, or thighs. Or if you have a strap, you can loop it around the bottoms of the feet and pull on the ends. Relaxing the shoulders away from the ears. Breathing here. We'll release that fold. If you're using a strap, leaving it wrapped around the bottom of your left foot and just taking your right foot out of the strap. Bending the right knee and then letting that knee open out to the right side for Chandrasana. You can prop underneath the knee if you like. Placing one hand on either side of the left leg, turning the chest to face the leg. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale to fold. So you can reach for your foot or strap or anywhere along the leg. You can take a cross grip with your hands if you want, reaching for opposite sides of the foot or leg with your hands. And that'll help us center the chest over the left leg a little bit better. And we'll release, coming up, bringing the right knee up, stepping that foot up and over to the outside of your left thigh, leaving your left leg straight, or you can bend it underneath you, hugging the knee with the left arm. The right arm comes behind us for a twist. So we can stay here hugging the knee. If you like, you can bring your elbow past your knee, or you can bind this pose if that is in your practice. So to do the bind, you have to bring the elbow past the knee first. And then we'll extend that left arm out, internally rotate it so the thumb points down, and then take that arm between your legs, bringing the right arm behind the back, reaching for your fingers or your shirt or strap. We'll release that twist, extending the right leg out long, bending the left knee, letting that knee open out to the left side. Again, maybe propping the knee, maybe setting up a strap around the bottom of your right foot, placing one hand on either side of the right leg, turning the chest to face the leg. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale to fold. Reaching for your foot, strap, or anywhere along the leg. Maybe taking that cross grip with your hands. And releasing. Bringing the left knee up, we'll step that foot up and over. Keeping your right leg straight or bending it underneath you, hugging the knee with the right arm, the left arm comes behind us for our twist. And again, we can stay hugging the knee, or we can bring the elbow past the knee, or we can bind this pose. Releasing that twist, extending the legs out, uncrossing them, and we'll roll all the way down onto the back. So you can hold on behind the knees, or you can challenge your core a little bit by not holding on and just going down as slowly as you can, one vertebra at a time, tucking the chin into the chest. And then once you're all the way down, just hugging the knees into the chest and taking some rocks from side to side, just kind of massage out your back. Placing hands on kneecaps, circling them around, first in one direction, and then in the opposite direction. Returning to center, hugging the right knee in, releasing your left leg, giving that right knee a squeeze. Reaching that right leg up toward the ceiling, pointing and flexing the foot a few times. And then circling that foot around, first in one direction, and then in the opposite direction. Grabbing anywhere along the leg or using your strap, pulling that right leg in towards you for a hamstring stretch. Your left leg may be bent, or you can straighten that leg out along the floor. Extending the right leg out towards the right side, keeping our left side on the mat. So you can use your left hand on your left hip to kind of hold that side of your body down. You could also activate the muscles in that left leg to make that side of your body heavy. Taking the right leg up and across the body over to the left, extending that right arm out into a T, keeping your right shoulder on the mat, maybe also looking down your right arm. And we'll release, bringing the right leg back up, bending both knees, crossing the right ankle over the left thigh for a figure four stretch, reaching your right arm between your legs. And you can grab a hold of the back of the left thigh or the front of the left shin. And we'll try and line that left knee up with our left shoulder. Releasing the right foot and hugging the left knee in. Standing the left leg up, pointing and flexing the foot a few times. And circling it around, first in one direction. And then in the opposite direction. Grabbing anywhere along the leg or using a strap, pulling the left leg in for a hamstring stretch. Your right leg may be bent or straight. Extending the left leg out towards the left side. Keeping your right side on the mat, so holding it there with your hand on your hip or activating the muscles in your right leg. And then we'll take that left leg up and across the body over to the right, extending the left arm out into a T, keeping your left shoulder on the mat, maybe looking down that left arm. And releasing, bringing the left leg back up, bending both knees, crossing the left ankle over the right thigh, reaching your left arm through and pulling on the right leg, lining that right knee up over your right shoulder. And releasing, hugging the knees into the chest, extending arms out into a T. Either dropping both knees to your right, or if you want, you can cross your left leg over your right thigh first, and then take the knees to the right, keeping both shoulders on the mat, maybe looking down your left arm. And we'll release and switch sides. So if you cross the legs one way, cross them the other way. We'll take those knees over to the left, keeping both shoulders on the mat, maybe looking down your right arm. And release. Uncrossing the legs if they're crossed, hugging the knees into the chest, giving them a nice squeeze. And releasing it all down. So preparing for Shavasana, final relaxation. So if you'd like to put any layers on at this time or grab any props that you might want for your meditation, take a moment to make yourself comfortable. And then just coming into any position that you prefer for your meditation today. So most people like to lie down, but if you prefer to be seated, that's fine too. I'll give you another moment or two. I still have to untangle my shirt and get it back on. There we go. You might want to grab an eye pillow or dim the lights in your space since it is evening. And as always, I'm going to read a guided visualization just to give you something to focus on as you relax. In preparation for this journey, take a deep breath and close your eyes. As you inhale, roll your eyes upwards behind your closed lids. And then as you exhale, let your eyes relax and rest wherever is comfortable. Your eyes are relaxed. Your lids are heavy. And any tension you might be carrying in your forehead is dissolving away. You are floating gently and continually into a state of relaxation. As you continue to relax, imagine that you are hiking in a remote wooded area, far from any roads, towns, or people. You come across a crystal clear stream of water. It appears as though no one has ever been in this part of the woods, and the stream is completely pure and natural. You are in a state of awe. Thirsty from your hike, you kneel down along the mossy shoreline to drink. Taste how crisp and fresh this water is. Feel it entering into your body. As it is absorbed within you, every cell in your body is revitalized.
And we'll start to wiggle fingers and toes, circling the ankles and wrists. And reaching the arms up overhead, just stretch. And release. And if you're lying down, either rolling to one side or hugging the knees into the chest, taking a few deep breaths before you make your way up to seated. And then coming into any comfortable seat you choose to finish your practice this evening. Sitting up nice and tall and dropping the chin to the chest. Bringing the head back up to neutral, taking the right ear towards the right shoulder. Keeping both shoulders down. Bringing the head up through neutral, taking the left ear towards the left shoulder. Bring the head back up to central, taking the hands behind the head and looking all the way up. And release, taking 3 deep breaths, inhaling arms up. And exhaling them down. Inhaling up. And exhaling down. One more time, inhaling it up. Bringing the hands together at heart center as we exhale. Delighting me honors delighting you. Namaste.